but only lands onto Genex. 2,500 HP on the Dragon now. Kiba's gonna fall. Prime goes in with a double charm, double knockout, and that's exactly what he was looking for. Winter will fall. Jinjo trying to dive back towards the backside to feather Sply, but Keduii forces him back to the fountain. Only Banderas left alive. And SK Prime, even though they lost Febiven at the start of the fight, find everything else that they were looking for here. An ace over to SK Prime. Sure, like we're going to talk a lot about how these junglers match up into each other when we get into the game, because having watched your stream, one thing I know that you love doing is talking about jungle pathing and seeing how these two people can interact with each other and interact with their lanes as the game goes on.
Oh, for sure. I am looking forward to that. But I'm also looking forward to getting you to talk about Rakan in a little bit, sharing your wisdom on this particular champion. It's a pretty
okay, here we go. Do you want all of the wisdom? I'll give you all of it, okay?
Yes.
I'm going to hold the mic. Rakan used to be really bad in lane. He's still really bad in lane, but they buffed his Q healing. So now you can be really bad, but regain all the health you've lost. Isn't that amazing? Against Nautilus, you need to be careful that when you go in, you want to position yourself just a little bit further away from the Nautilus than you would from another melee support. Because if you get auto-attacked by the Nautilus, you're then rooted, and that can really ruin your day. You really can.
Do you win? Yeah, go ahead.
No.
What I was going to say is that Lurox expected Windows 7 to start in Raptors, decided to go for them, knowing he wouldn't be there in time, and just gets a quick and easy advantage here. Now he's looking for the game though.
Looking towards that mid lane fire, Rain might be caught out here, does still have the flash, tries to dash, Lurox still on the chase, flash forward, Lurox one more auto would be enough! He manages to get him, Lurox tanks 2 tower shots, but not quite enough damage to kill him off. SK Prime on the board, and Riddle 0-1 behind.
And this is a little bit tricky for Riddle to expect, because often the enemy jungler would already have based at that point, and they probably called, "Don't worry, Kindred is doing her crocs right now," when in reality Lurox had other plans. And like you said, the man has been a monster on Kindred in the ERLs, and once again the confidence.
Oh, Genex!
Oh.
Yeah, I like the Lurox. A little bit saddened. Only has 1 mark so far, spotted on a ward as well as he walks up. Might go for these Razor Beaks, might not. It looks like Febiven doesn't really think he's healthy enough to protect Lurox if the fight did begin, as the fight does happen in the bottom lane. Keduii getting called out here by Jinjo and Kiba. Keduii does have Prime coming around the side, flashes forward, looking for the damage onto Jinjo. The Ignite ticking will be enough to kill off the AD carry, and Kiba's going to fall as well. 2 kills over to the SK Prime bot lane. You couldn't really put the feathers in a position where dragging them back would be that easy. So it definitely felt a little bit desperate from Riddle, maybe looking for their second win here in the group stage, trying to match up with Go at the top. Febiven coming across here as SK Prime start to set up around this Rift Hold that was already started by Riddle. Genex can come down. Banderas has used the ultimate to get back into the lane, and so it's going to be a 4v4 fight, not back with the explosive cast. Hook coming out as well, Febiven dashing away with the Spirit Rush. Feather Storm from the side as well for Febiven. Goes back up towards the top side, while Prime is getting chased down towards the bottom side. Lurox coming in as well. Keduii's going to join the fray. Prime uses the blast gun to get away. Lurox flashes over the wall, but Jinjo's going to follow him up. And Winter 7 looking for a bit more damage. Jinjo takes 1. The Rift Herald falls as well as Banderas is able to secure it, and in the end, Riddle really get everything they were looking for.
And I think, to an extent, SK were actually in control at the start of the fight, but they ended up splitting up instead of staying as a unit. Febiven moved to the top side. We have, the Kindred, the Rakan sitting on bot side, getting engaged on, and now Genex once again on the Gragas, getting a little too excited up in the top lane. But ultimately, in that fight, to me, it was all about team play, being, just standing together as a team really instead of splitting up. And if they play as a unit next time, it's going to be a very different fight. For now though, solid play by Riddle. The top lane, the Sion, starting to be a real threat for them.
Knock up though, down towards this bottom lane. Jinjo, no ultimate on him. Keduii's going to take out the kill. Lurox looking for a little bit more as Kiba now stuck underneath this tower. Not an easy situation for the Nautilus to navigate, but he puts on his dancing shoes, dodges around, and Lurox decides to back away, not knowing where the enemy jungle was.
Disappointed from a macro point of view.
I'm sure they'll be a little disappointed as well. Currently, Riddle have control of the river. Ward goes down. Prime dodges away with the grand entrance there on the Rakan. The coward alarm comes out as Banderas just slides between them all. His best Puss in Boots impression there is our good Antonio on the Sion. Fire Rain caught up towards the top side. Flashes, dashes across the wall. The quickness as well, a possibility for him as they try and dive onto Febiven. Spirit rushed in all on his lonesome, and already he's fallen, and now SK Prime have to try and fight a 4v5. The Cyclone coming out as well from Winter 7 can just dash back in here, has the smite, flash forward, there's the hook, but only lands onto Genex. 2,500 HP on the Dragon now. Kira's gonna fall, Prime goes in with a double charm, double knockout, and that's exactly what he was looking for. Winter will fall, Jinjo trying to dive back towards the backside, the feather fly, but Keduii forces him back to the fountain. Only Banderas left alive, and SK Prime, even though they lost Febiven at the start of the fight, find everything else that they were looking for here. An ace over to SK Prime. The Dragon to boot. Jenna is getting chased down by Banderas. We'll just dash away. And Riddle now with a commanding position in this game, Boxer. In all of these fights. Assuming she gets ultimate on one person so she can start getting up the lightning rush stacks or lightning crash stacks, it just becomes so difficult to ever deal with her because you need point and click CC. You need Nautilus ult, or you need Sylas to be able to E onto her, or Wukong with the Cyclone. Otherwise, she just walks through you, and that's exactly what happened. All credit to Keduii, playing it very well, of course, but it's just a Zeri diff as Kiba looked for something there, couldn't quite find the dredge line as Keduii gets his 5th kill of the game now on Zeri, just to try and get some semblance of vision on the map, but in all actuality, all that vision does is say, okay, yeah, you can walk into your own jungle now. Whereas SK Prime's vision is all placed much deeper in and allows them to set up plays like this where they know no one's coming to help Fire Rain right now. Everyone else is still in the river. Fire Rain dies because he doesn't have that aggressive vision line. And Riddle now a man down for the next 37
to protect up top side, to keep having vision around the Baron area, because they need to make sure that if SK Gaming starts Baron at any point, they're there, and they're ready to, in the worst case, if not fight, then at the very least go for a steal.
Oh, Winter. Oh, Winter. That's a Zeri. You just can't do that, my dude. Prime gets hooked underneath the tower as well, but Lurox and Genex very happily pick up the kill. Keduii there as well, goes godlike. And yeah, you can like what Riddle's doing, but in the end, SK just slap him with their wallets. That's a...
At this point in the game, against the sneaky Zeri who's already so fast, apparently that was very, very illegal.
I just like it doesn't matter if you're being aggressive in any way, right? There's no over aggressive anymore. You can either be in your base or be fodder for SK Prime because they have total control over the entirety of the map. Baron secured for them as well. Still 2 minutes on that Baron buff. Banderas trying to do what he can here, but Lurox and Genex in the right position to shut down this Sion. Timber goes the Lumberjack. And another kill over to Lurox. His 6th stack still needs one more to make it to 7. He even manages to get there with the mid lane inhibitor down. You can see Keduii trying to push up here. This is something you can do. Try and set up. Keduii hit the control ward, so doesn't realize that Winter's in there. Okay, maybe you can't do that. I thought maybe Winter had a chance for Cyclone or something, but it seems like Keduii might just be a little bit too strong. 3 levels up as the AD carry over the enemy jungler.
Well, he doesn't have any summoners available at the moment, and Riddle are gonna have to find a way to engage in that Zeri, or the game is about to end.
I feel like the game might just be about to end, though, Boxer. Even if you... Okay, yeah,
But the
no
Sion,
one's
though,
alive anymore. Sion's up!
There's a Sion on the way.
Oh,
It's
here he
time to
goes.
shine. Look at him go.
Come on, yes!
No, not top lane. Not top
There are
lane.
minions! There are minions to be had, Boxer! But SK in a convincing game here. 29 minutes.
1v5. It's a
for
good
the win.
win, I promise.
He's not the bounce, man. He can't do it. There's no Prowler's Claw on this guy. SK will open up their win column here at the EMEA Masters with a convincing victory over Riddle.